Aha, yes. That song always sort of like it's a real upbeat kind of thing. Yeah, fits me perfectly, don't you think? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Gisela Show. I am sitting as always here in my living room, welcoming you and trying to give you all my thoughts and all my research that I have. Um, we're going to have a very interesting show today. We're going to be talking about the source of happiness, what we can do to make us happy, and how that influences our life and our health. But first, as always, we want to thank Amnan for having us on the show. He will put your calls through when you call in to make a comment, but you can also go into the chat room. And Amnan, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And good morning and
Great.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, so when you look at your screen, you see on the right-hand side, is that correct, Amnan?
Yes,
The
well, it depends.
telephone number?
It depends. I mean, you can see either the chat either to the right, but if you're on mobile, you'll see it below.
Ah, okay. Very good. Very good. All right. So please don't be shy. Call in, ask me questions. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm right. Anything that you hear here is always just my opinion and never to offend anyone or to claim that I know it all. But one thing you can be sure of, I will always tell you the truth as I see it. Okay? And that doesn't, and I try, I'm one of those rare people that really tries to be without bias, without prejudgment, without having saying, well, because um, I say this is blue because the head is blue. So because if the head is blue, then the body has to be blue. I do not prescribe to things like that. I think that if I see it blue, I say it, regardless of what the head looks like. Did I make myself clear, Amnon, or did I make this
You
garbled?
made yourself clear.
Good. He is always, Amnon is always, he's not just the producer. He always, I can so nicely bounce off. I mean, he is also one of those rare people. He will tell me the truth. He will tell me, hey, listen, you're full of it, or I don't agree with you, or I agree with you.
I would.
And those those kind of people are the really of what we are talking about today. And we're talking today about that what makes us happy, what makes us, because Valentine's Day is coming up, right?
Yeah,
It's on
this
Wednesday,
week.
I
Yep.
believe. Yeah. So Valentine's Day is one of those days that I've always thought was, um, one of those days that I think it's so sad that we commercialized it. But if we wouldn't have commercialized it, it wouldn't be so popular. And if it wouldn't be so popular, then so many people would not have the opportunity or would not take the opportunity to make use of that Valentine's Day. Because here's what happens on Valentine's Day: we tell each other that we care for each other, right?
Right.
Or am I wrong? Okay. So, isn't that a beautiful thing? Unfortunately, we have to now buy the chocolate filled heart and the chocolate dipped strawberries, and maybe, depending on your economic situation, a present or two, definitely a dinner, you know. But I think all of that is a little far. I really don't think that, but we have been made to believe that that is what we need to be happy for with.
Mm,
right?
yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, we have been made to believe that if I get that, if he brings the chocolate filled heart and takes me out to dinner, that is a declaration of his love. Isn't that what we have been made to believe?
That's what we are made to believe by those that make chocolate.
They and sell restaurants of food. Right, right, right. Now, wouldn't it be just much easier as when you get older? When I was younger, I felt the same way. But now that I've become older and have seen what the real source of happiness is, my thoughts are very different now. And what happens, and it has been, uh, uh, Charlie, no, my dog always has to have the last word. Isn't that terrible? So I mean, he's totally spoiled, but he's male. What do I expect? Stop it. He does listen once in a while. Once in a while. So you know, Valentine's Day is one of those days when we can examine that a little bit. So here's the source of happiness within you. Within you. You are the only one that can make yourself happy. But that's not what we are made to believe. What we are made to believe was romance novels, by the way, Amnan, are on the rise, export potential. I mean, they are outselling everything else. Now, why do
Okay.
you think that? Why do you think that is?
I don't know because of things are always in cycles. I don't know.
Yeah, you would say that. No. Do you know why that is? Is
No.
because there's more unhappiness and more uh not happiness so much, but depression is on the rise, is totally on the rise. People are more depressed now than any, and why shouldn't there be? I mean, uh, all the signs point to it, because all the signs are not towards we have less money, we have, so we cannot spend anymore as much money to make ourselves temporarily for 5 minutes happy.
Okay.
So now when we say, well, we need to have this happiness. Now if I get that dinner, or if I get that diamond, or if I get that car, or if I get whatever, I make myself happy. Well, how long does that happiness last?
Right.
5 minutes, 10 minutes? At the most, a day. Okay. Now, satisfaction is the lower cousin of happiness. Satisfaction is something that we can enjoy much longer, because satisfaction comes from where we can say, well, now I got myself this elegant, beautiful car. I can drive to work every day and enjoy it, all the amenities in there, all the buttons and the leather and all of that. I can enjoy that a little longer. So that is a satisfying feeling. I did this for myself. I did this for myself. When we start to think that way, then we're starting to get to a better understanding of what makes us happy. Because satisfaction comes from something that you did, not from something that was done upon you. When you are dependent on an outside source to make you happy, you start to have a real problem. And that's where all of these meds come in. We are continuously bombarded with that. Well, if you take this medicine, if you take this chemical, it will make you either, well, they say it takes you out of the depression. What it mostly does is it makes you a little numb, so you don't think about it anymore, and then you might exchange that for vomiting or suicidal thoughts. But that's entirely your choice. What you want to do is you want to start looking at satisfaction. And satisfaction comes in many ways. Satisfaction comes from when you feel you have a job well done. No? Yes. Say
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, satisfaction also comes from helping others. It's satisfying to help somebody. When you help somebody that, oh my God, you see an older woman
Hold.
or an
Hold.
older man.
Hold it.
Yes.
You have a call.
Okay.
Hi, caller. Hello.
Welcome, welcome.
No, they hung up. Okay, keep going.
Ah, come on, don't be shy. You can ask me anything. So satisfaction is really where you want to be. Now, let's examine just a little bit of what happiness really is and how it is produced. This is the scientific side of it. Happiness comes with, by the way, satisfaction elicits almost the same kind of hormones, whereby the only one in satisfaction may not produce as much of is oxytocin. Oxytocin is really the hormone, the love hormone. It makes us love, and it makes us being non-antagonistic. That's why, when the doctors prescribe it, everybody gets on it and they all love it because they feel that they're flooded with oxytocin, and the brain doesn't really, they are totally antagonistic, or really, it holds down somewhat passion also, because passion means that you're forceful and energetic. Oxytocin doesn't make you that. So when the doctor prescribes that as a pain medicine, uh, be aware that you will be very low level, so to speak. Um, but but it is also very addictive, because people do not want to confront. People are, for the most part, people do not want to be confrontational, because we are a herd animal. We live in a society. We do not want to stick out. Just like when you don't call in, you don't want to stick out. And that part keeps us all very nicely in line. We are taught that way. We are taught that way. Not only does the hormone does that, but we are taught that way. Now, the other one, the predominant uh, hormone that is released with happiness is dopamine, because all of a sudden, when you're very happy, you're very energetic, you're out there and you do things, and all of a sudden things work, and until the next crash or the next thing happens that bounces you out of that, and dopamine is not anymore produced in as much as it was in the previous hour, day, week, or whatever. And that is what dopamine is also, when you see that on Alzheimer people, they don't produce as much dopamine anymore. Older people, for sure not. And that's why they are low in energy. They don't really want to be bothered. They just want to be more, I just leave me be here and I'm going to be here. Everybody always says, "Oh, you're so energetic. You're so energetic. You're so young," and so on. Yeah, because I try to keep those levels, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and the endorphins, all balanced, where I get a little bit of this at times because I add that to it because you can. You can add that. Here's how you do it. You learn how uh, to live with what you have. And that is where I was Valentine's. So you have a guy who is a real nice guy. He's a real nice guy. He's not rich. He goes to work every day, but he's faithful and he's nice. Maybe in your eyes a little boring. But let me tell you one thing. This little boring guy can give you a world of happiness. And why? Because he lets you make yourself happy. If he lets you make yourself happy, you got it made, girl. And the same thing for the guys. If you get a partner that lets you make yourself happy, you got it made. Now, if you have a partner that understands the same thing, so you're both balanced, well, then you have a glorious marriage, and then you will be happy ever after. But that doesn't happen too often. Most of the time we select our partner because they complete us. You are happy with that. They make you happy. Well, nobody can make you happy. I can guarantee you that. Nothing, nobody will make you forever happy. And the idea of this romance that it will always last forever, well, yeah, that's a nice thought. That's a really nice thought. But you know what? What is much more important? An environment and a person on your side that lets you be who you are. And there we come to this real big thing, because if you are allowed to be who you are, you can energize yourself by walking in the woods. You can uh, go on a triathlon. You can buy yourself a horse and ride whatever. You can have the greatest career in the world. You have your passions are all met. Your idea of who you are is firmly in your head. All that raises dopamine. True. Now, the oxytocin comes when in. We said that already. It's the love hormone. It's the one when you want to be mellow. Now find the medium that makes you mellow. Now what makes you mellow? What raises sex? Definitely raises a lot of oxytocin and endorphins, a lot of them. So, but I mean, who can stay in bed all the time? So, or wherever. There are other things that make do that too. For instance, baking bread for some people, knitting, um, reading, reading something interesting, unless it's a war novel. But then, even then, church, faith, meditation, all of that raises oxytocin, and that makes you mellow, balanced, nice. Now, if you have a partner who says, well, what the heck are you doing there, sitting there going, I don't want you to do that. Well, then you can't make yourself happy with that. Do you see where I'm going with this? All right. Now, if you're by yourself, then no problem. Do what you feel you need. I saw this Seinfeld show once where he kept saying, serenity now, whenever something happens. Do you remember that, Amnon?
Yes, I do. Serenity now.
Yeah,
Serenity now. Serenity.
serenity now. Well, you know what he was doing really? He was teaching us to say, well, if I can add that Oxycontin at will when I need it, then I'm better off. No? Yes. Say everybody yes.
Yes.
Yes. So now we come to serotonin. Serotonin is really started in the gastro tract, and it helps us with our body to be more even. Everything is more even. Your blood pressure level is even. Your diabetic level is even. Your glucose level is even. Your energy levels is even. Serotonin, that hormone, does that. And so serotonin is released very much so when you go into that REM sleep at night. Serotonin, you can also, with all the ones there, serotonin is released the same type of things, activities as Oxycontin, really. It just does something a little bit different. And endorphins when you exercise. So many people are on this exercise kick. They have to go 4 times a week, 2 hours, 1 hour, whatever. I don't have anything against that. I think it's fabulous for them to do that. I used to go at least twice a week horseback riding on one of my horses. And that is an addiction. Endorphins also. All four of these, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, are addictive. They're made that way because our body wants to be really happy. They want all this to be in balance. If that is all in balance all the time, our immune system is very high. Our energy and our functioning of our body is at top level, and our immune system will be able to fend off any aggressor that may come our way, even cancer cells, even if it is in your DNA. Not that it will prevent it totally, but if your immune system is high, very high, like it could be, when you are able to have all four of these hormones at a level at least once or twice a day. You can't have it on the same level all the time. Well, you could, but I don't know of anybody who can, except me. I think I got this thing licked. I think I have learned, well, I've learned very early on that I'm responsible for my happiness. That romance novels are wonderful. They're great. But you know what? That prince on the white horse may turn out to be a real humdinger that beats you up at home, locks you up in the castle, and doesn't feed you and keep you pregnant and barefoot. Now, that was not going to be the guy for me because that was not going to, even remotely of the idea of that, I probably would have rejected that very, well, I did. I did reject that very quickly and said, forget this. I don't need this. Because I understood that I had to make myself happy. When I was a little girl, I went to boarding school, and when you're in boarding school, you don't have this fuzzy feeling. You have to really be on guard, especially when you're first there, and once you're an older one, then you can fit in more. But in the beginning, it's very hard for a young girl to be in an environment that is strictly so that it meets your needs and your education. And we need more. We need this hug. We need the hug. And here's what I do occasionally. Not occasionally, quite often. I get together with one or two of my girlfriends, and we make an evening where we really just talk, and it's just for us. My husband is so well tuned to me that he leaves me alone and doesn't come and be, oh, now we have a guest. No, this is for me and my girlfriend. Now, that may be a different girlfriend each time. I will go with one of my girlfriends to the sauna. We'll make a spa day. Some of them, they rather go shopping. I'll go shopping with them. I don't buy very much, but they do, and I enjoy what they're buying. We go to dinner. Once in a while, I go out and treat myself. I just go off by myself. I go camping, as you guys know. I go by myself because I need that at that time. Now, you can only do that either if you're single, most of the time, or if you have a partner that understands that. And if you have never done it before, if you've never been brave enough to venture out there and say, hey, I'm going to need that. I'm going to be I'm going to be out there and I'm going to satisfy my need. If you cannot do that, or you've never done that, try it. Try it. Go first with a girlfriend. Both of you go. Go have a glass of wine somewhere. Or go shopping. Or go to the library or to a museum. I don't care. As long as it makes you happy and you calm down. Because when you are really in tune with that, then you can go to the next step where you do it at need. At need. So once you understand that you can do that, you can satisfy your needs, then you can go it alone. Then you can do yourself. You can sit and meditate. Go to a temple, go to a Buddhist temple. I don't care what religion you are. Go to a Buddhist temple and sit and meditate with these guys. It is a revelation. If you really do it, just think about the things that you would like to do. Just thinking about the things you like to do in detail sometimes does the trick. Because we all live in our heads more than anywhere else, right or wrong. Say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We live in our heads. This is where we live. And if our imagination and that our what do I want to say? If our past life experiences and our willingness to go and take the leap to experience what you want, I don't care how bizarre it is. You have to experience, only experiences can release these hormones. That's what I wanted to say. Only experiences and good experiences. So if you wanted to ever always be a caretaker to somebody, because we know giving is much more rewarding than getting, right? We know that. So,
Always.
yes, so why don't you go over that pond and say, I'm going to try this. What is the worst thing that can happen? Well, remember when I was much younger, somebody taught me that. Somebody said to me, "You know what, Gisela, what are you afraid of? What is the worst thing that can happen to you if you do this?" And I was thinking about it. And if I thought that I could live with the worst thing that could happen to me, I would go for it. I would go for it. You always have to go according to your level of comfort. But if you push that comfort level each time a little bit more, each time, just think of how rewarding that would be. I mean, just think. You have to imagine that. If you cannot imagine it, you can't go there. You have to be able to imagine it. And that is why I just saw this fabulous, fabulous video on Facebook. A 90-year-old ice skater who's apparently skated all her life was giving her last performance on ice. I mean, you should have seen how graceful and nice this woman was. Not only that, how you could tell she truly enjoyed it. She truly enjoyed it. And that's why our entertainers, all they do is really they satisfy themselves. If they satisfy themselves, they can be good. If you don't satisfy yourself, you can't be good. So yeah, I mean, 90-year-old ice skater, and she was just absolutely wonderfully graceful. And that is how really happiness. Now, there's another way of becoming I just saw a pyramid. I mean, Americans love pyramids, the food pyramid and what have you, what has to come first. And it's really, in essence, what I told you. It's just a little different flavor to it. Um, the um, the pyramid starts at the bottom with thinking, right? Oh, I wish I could. This would be nice. Um, I I really wish. Yeah, wish is probably one. Oh, I hope. You know, what else is thinking? Hope, wish. Yeah, that's about it, right? Or what? Can you think of one other one?
No.
No, right? So that's thinking. The next step then is the interaction. Now, how do I do that? How do I wish? Yeah, so okay, most of those thoughts we never act upon, but some of them we do. And in order to drive your car forward, you have to engage in the gears. So thinking is turning the engine on. That doesn't get you anywhere yet. Well, interaction is putting it into gear. Now, if you say, I want to go to Europe, I wish I could go to Europe. Okay. Now, you're thinking about that first time, second time, third time, fourth time, or by the fourth or fifth time, you might, depending how fast you think it, if you think once a year, I want to go to Europe, it's not going to get you anywhere. I can tell you that. But if you think about it within 1 month, many times, you have a likelihood of it achieving it, because each time then that you think, you put it into gear, and you are already a step closer to that realization. Now your body is now starting to make all these hormones because you're getting excited about it. And have you noticed that most of the time, before or around events that you have made happen somehow, big promotion, getting getting something, going on a trip, most of the time you have been more energized and more uplifted, and there is no room for depression or sadness or just blah. No, or boredom. No, no. You are energized. You are releasing more dopamine and endorphins into your brain. So now the next one is volition. Volition means choices. Which choice do I go? Do I go to Europe in 7 days and see all of Europe? Or do I go to one country and see it a little better? Or do I go to 3 countries? Do I rent a car? Do I go by train? Do I go first class? Do I go economy class? What airline? All of those choices. Do I go by myself? Once you have done those choices, once you have solidified that, now you're releasing even more hormones. Now you're becoming really optimistic. At this stage, only if you fall totally off the wagon somehow and you say, oh, well, somebody tells you, oh, you're never going to be able to make it, and puts a pin in your balloon and you go poof and out and over, right? No. But if you can keep this alive and you don't listen to naysayers because you have only $5 in the bank and you can't possibly afford this, it's all right. You know what? Many people say if you want it, you get it. And if you believe in it, you get it. And if you make it happen, you get it. You can make anything happen. You can have everything in life, except you cannot guarantee it. Nobody can guarantee you that you will. But I feel the planning stage, the 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 excitement before the event is much more important and much more satisfying often than the actual event. I can do all of my hormone household on that one event. If I do that twice a year, I will live to a ripe old age because my hormone level is to the roof. My immune system is top notch, and my body is working well. And the next one to make it happen, though, to make that event happen, so you have to take ownership. Now you have to start planning and saying, okay, how do I get the money to do this? And then it depends. Ownership and performance are two that are almost intertwined, depending on your ethics, on your morals, on your how far you would want to go to make your dreams come true. The performance of it depends on it. The outcome of it depends on it. And the influence that it has on you and the surrounding area, one of you that are impacted by this, if they are all in tune with your thoughts, your dreams, your hopes, then you will be able to get what you want. And it sounds terribly complicated for people who have never experienced it. But if you experience it like this, if you go these steps, you will each time be successful, as I have. But you have to do the steps in between. You have to be responsible. You have to do diligently the steps needed towards it. Just like if you want to have a great job, I mean, you want to be president of Coca-Cola. Well, you're going to have to start somewhere because nobody gets to be born president of Coca-Cola. Okay. Um, with politicians, I'm not so sure. but, but, I mean, you got to do the steps in between. And when you do these steps and when you do all of that, then your body will be healthy, your immune system will be high, and you very likely live a happy, healthy, long life. Unless you stuff yourself every day with hamburgers and junk food, and then your arteries might go kaput, no matter how hopeful you are. But that's a topic for a totally different show. So here it is. You got the formula for lasting happiness and healthy life. Now, there are homeopathic remedies that help you if you do have, especially cell salts. We talked about that before. They they can influence some of those balances, and they can then in because sometimes imbalances, mental imbalances, like we cannot raise enough dopamine or we cannot raise enough oxycontin, then there is a malfunction within the cells, and that sometimes can be remedied with homeopathic remedies, and sometimes there has to be like a lithium or whatever. Okay, short term, I would always think, but uh, we are not talking about that. We are talking about only everyday people like you and I that really have no cell imbalance in any way, which doesn't mean it can't happen. But when that happens, I usually do take my constitutional remedy. Like, for instance, there are days when I can't muster it, and I say the F word multitude of times a day, and things just can't make me happy. Those days are too, yes. But those days are far fewer than the days of the F word. And that is what you need to achieve in order to live healthy and happy. A Valentine's card from somebody or a note from somebody that says, I love you. I'm glad you are alive. I'm glad you are here and in my life. I'm so glad to know you. Any of these, one of them or all of them, will make most everybody happy for at least that. Depends on who it is from, and it depends on how well you needed it. But I can tell you this, my son sent me a beautiful message for my birthday. I was not able to pick up, and he left a message. And he told me of how much he cared and how happy he was that I was in his life, and that he didn't really know what date it was that my birthday was, but he thought it was time for congratulations for birthday. And I just, my heart went, my baby loves
Mm.
me. And you know what? That day, the next day, I was in a glow. I mean, that did more for my dopamine and serotonin and oxycontin than a lot of things have done. Now, with that, I'm going to leave you. And if that dog, does anybody mind if I wring his neck?
Yes.
No, of course not. Yes, 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 because he's cute. He's cute. Yeah, and he can get away with anything. Um, but that's what my Valentine's wish for every one of you is. Have someone send you a note like that. And if it's not enough, or if you feel that you would like to have more, then you send out a note and you'll see of how many people will respond in kind. I've seen that many times, and I hope that for you. I really wish you a very wonderful Valentine's Day. And I hope it stops snowing here soon because we are getting to be a little bit of snowed in here.
Come
And
down here. It's already 76.
oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, rub it in. Oh my God. You know, that was a pin in my balloon here. I was glowing.
It's ridiculous. I mean,
Oh, that was,
Kathy opened the windows last night and left them open all night.
oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, but let me tell you, you can't beat the beauty of everything blanketed
Right.
in white snow.
Right.
I
Agreed.
mean, you know,
Agreed.
there you go. You have to, when you, it sounds so trite, but you know what? If you got a lemon, make lemonade. If you don't know anything else to do with it, you know,
That's that's why they call it Winter Wonderland.
there you go. And that's what we have here. And, you know, I mean, I wish I was in the sun and in the warm, but I ain't. So sometimes ecology and ecological reasons and um, and monetary reasons prevail.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
you have to live within what is the possibility. But
Yep.
long term, I can say next winter I'm going to be for 2 or 3 weeks again in the south. But you know, I wish that every year, and it, I haven't been able to for the last 2 3 years. But this year, hopefully, I go to Europe. So there we go. There we go. Pick your choices, make the ones that you think you can afford.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you all again happy Valentine's Day,
Happy Valentine's
and
Day to you too.
be good to your partner, be good to your girlfriends, be good to your boyfriends. And you know what? My little boyfriend, who was just throwing a fit here in the back, barking insanely, he is going to get a special treat too because he is my little boyfriend, you know? So, there. I wish you all, please, if you enjoyed the show, tell your friends, tell everybody on Facebook, on Twitter, and next week we will have homeopathy on pets. I'm also working on another guest, which might be in March, which will also tell us a few things again. And, you know, there you go. Sometimes a lot of those hormones, which I forgot to mention, are raised by our animals. It's a joy to have our pets, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I go in my stable and my horse nuzzles me, a little shiver goes down and say, "Oh God, how nice."
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. Make yourself happy. Bye for now.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section on nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Atomos.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.